4,000
No, yeah, 4,400.
bush. Yeah, sorry. And so then I tried to do, okay, 4 minus 3 for workers, minus 3 workers is 1. And then for and then just 300 for or did, yeah.
Perrin, what is your answer? You don't know?
I don't know. Yes, I don't know.
Let's solve it together. So when he has 2 workers, come on. When he has 2 workers, his production was 3,000. When he has 3 workers, 4,400. When he has 4 workers, option 1, 56. Option 2, 58. And option 3 would be 6,000, right? Okay, so what is the marginal product?
It is 1,400, and I use 1,400 plus 4,400, isn't it?
So you see, when he employed 1 more worker, total 3 workers, the 3rd worker is only adding 1,400 to the production. So diminishing marginal return says that when he employs 4th worker, his production should be less than 1,400 from the previous one, right? So if we assume that this is option A, what is the marginal product? 56 what's going on? 56 100 minus 4,400. Answer is, what's going on? I don't understand this. 56 come on. Minus 4,400. Answer is 4 minus 3. Answer would be 1,200. So A can be the answer? Yes. How about the B? If 5,800. So 5,800 answer would be 1,400. Exactly the previous one. B cannot be the answer. Even C cannot be the answer. So answer would be A. Well done, PD. Okay, now from the production function to total cost curve. So total cost curve shows the graphical relationship between outputs and its cost. There we go. So let's talk about the total cost measures. So earlier we have studied the types of total cost based on decision, right? The explicit cost, implicit cost, and now we will study the total cost on the basis of its behavior, right? So there are some various measures based on decision, based on behavior. So this one is one from behavior, which we actually use in our day-to-day routine in factories. So cost can be divided in terms of 2 categories, fixed cost and variable cost. What is fixed cost? Fixed costs which do not vary with the level of production or level of output. For example, rent. So you have to pay the same rent whether you produce 1 unit, whether you produce 1 million unit, whether you produce 1 billion units. You pay the same rent. We call this fixed cost. Salaries of accountant, right? Whether you produce 100 units, you pay the fixed salary to the accountant. Whether you pay 1,000, whether you produce 1,000 units, 2,000 units, right? Variable costs, which vary with the level of output. If you purchase more raw material, if you purchase, okay, if you want to produce more raw material would be needed. So cost of raw material rises, right? More raw material will be needed. We call this variable cost. Similarly, wages. If you want to produce more, you need to hire more labor. Variable cost, right? So fuel or gasoline with the car. If you drive more, you need more gasoline. Gasoline cost is variable cost. So what is the formula for total cost then? Total cost consists of total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Right? Earlier, we studied the total cost on the basis of decision making. What if I started this business, I lose that opportunity? What would be the total opportunity cost? But now we studied the cost with respect to their behavior, how they behave with the level of output. So we categorize total cost as fixed cost and variable cost, right? Here we go. So we have a data from your book, and that is the Hungry Helen Cookies factory. So here we go. We have its number of workers, output, marginal product, right? And now the cost of the factory, cost of the worker. So can you tell me which one is fixed, which one is variable? So you see number of output, not number of inputs. So we don't see number of inputs are increasing. So we see the behavior, no, number of output, production is 0, 50, 90, 120, 140, 150, 155. So if production increasing and costs remain the same, so cost of the factory is fixed. Understand everyone?
Yes.
And you see that production increases and cost of worker also increases. It means this is variable cost. Right, everyone? So the total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Now, my question is, let me resolve. What if you are not given this data? Can you still find out what is fixed cost and what is variable cost? You have only given the total cost and you have given the outputs. Can you figure it out what is the fixed cost and what is the variable cost? So look at the definition of fixed cost. Fixed cost which do not vary with the level of output. Even if output is 0, you still are paying the cost. So this 30 is the fixed cost. So it means among total cost of 40, 30 is fixed cost, rest is variable cost. Look at that. There are different ways to calculate the variable cost. So see, 10. We know from 50, 30 is fixed cost, so 20 gonna be variable cost. Among this 90, 30 belongs to fixed cost, so variable cost would be 60. So even if you are not given fixed cost and variable cost, you are given the total cost and you are also given the output starting from 0. So you see that if the output is 0, still we are paying some cost. Yes, it means that must be the case of fixed cost. And if you have a fixed cost, you have a total cost, you can just use the formula and you can find out the variable cost. Everyone agrees? Right? Okay. So this is a class activity. We are not doing that. We don't have much time. So if you plot the total cost, it is increasing and then going crazy, like increasing too much. But if you pay close attention, this is total cost. This is production function. Again, this is total cost going up, right? And this is production function, right? So we can say that these are opposite sides of the same coin. So total cost curve gets steeper, like becoming more closer to the y-axis, and production function becomes flatter when production rises, right? So opposite sides of the same coin, right? This is just for your knowledge. So how we calculate the average cost? Average cost is when you divide total cost by the quantity. Simple. If you want to find out the average fixed cost, total fixed cost divided by quantity. If you want to find out average variable cost divided by quantity. If you want to find out average total cost divided by quantity. Right? Everyone understand? Whenever you want to find out the average cost, just divide that with quantity. If you want to find out the average fixed cost, divide the total fixed cost by quantity. If you want to find out the average variable cost, divide the variable cost with quantity. If you want to find out average total cost, divide the total cost with the quantity. Or if you want to find out if you have already known the average variable cost, average fixed cost, you can just add them to get the average total cost. The second formula is, first formula is average total cost is calculated as total cost divided by quantity. Secondly, you can also calculate the average total cost by adding average fixed cost plus average variable cost. So this is just mathematical properties. Right, everyone? Now our last topic is marginal cost. Like we studied the marginal product and now marginal cost. I'm just giving you a hint here. Marginal means additional one or one more unit.